Alrighty, y'all. Hello and welcome back. I hope you had an awesome weekend. We're getting into something pretty interesting today, I reckon. Any big projects or something that, is very unique, I'm always into. And it's been a while since we did something like this. This is essentially like I heard one of the biggest, if not the biggest dam, essentially, in the world, or also called like the Motorway in the sea. You probably might know what this is, but it has a very interesting title that I am not even going to try and pronounce. So you can laugh now. But yeah, we're going to look into a little bit of why the Dutch built this, and then some information on when they did, how they did it, that kind of thing. Because I've never heard of this, and I'm very interested because I was told by many people over the last few months to look at this. And I'll finally get into it. Any clips we use in here will be linked in the description down below so you can watch the whole videos uninterrupted and, of course, browse their channels. Let's go ahead and look at this first one, the Motorway in the sea. Let's check it out. Hope that's not copyrighted music.
This is Leeuwarden, the capital of Friesland province in the north of the Netherlands, and not in Holland. You can catch many buses from this bus station, but only one of them drives 32 kilometers across a sea. So we're going to get that one.
32 kilometers, or is it kilometers? What should I say? I thought that was right, but maybe it is kilometer. Anyway, my brain's going to go to kilometer, so bear with me. 32 kilometers over pure water. That sounds pretty crazy. That would not be something I'm very fond of, although I would do if I know it's safe. It just would be freaky. Driving over water is like super freaky to me.
And just to recap, this bus is going from here, Leeuwarden, to here, Alkmaar, via here, the sea.
Which, of course, looks like it's a lot quicker than going way down here, through Amsterdam, by the way, and then going way over here. Yeah, of course that's quicker.
A one-way ticket costs 20 euros, but I've shelled out an extra €1 for a day ticket, so that I can get off and back on again.
That sounds pretty cheap, pretty affordable, nice.
About 30 minutes into the journey, there's surprising news for Swiss passengers, as we turn off at the Dutch seaside village of Zurich. This is the last stop before we cross the sea, and in most countries that would mean the bus now drives onto a ferry. But this is the Netherlands, so instead, the road just carries straight on across the water.
Whoa.
This isn't a bridge. They literally just built a motorway in the sea.
Oh, so it's not... What? I get it. So, yeah, I did hear there's like a dam. So it's like literally in the water, and the roadway is like on the water. It's not elevated way up here like a bridge.
More accurately, what they built is called the Afsluitdijk.
The Afsluitdijk. I would have never pronounced it like that without someone saying it first. I'm sure I'm still going to find a way to butcher it too. But that's interesting hearing it, because it looks like I had my fingers on the wrong keys and typed, and it turned out horribly. I'm sorry. That is very different than most words
in English,
I see
that
spelled.
translates as the Shutoffdijk, and it's basically an extremely long dam that separates and shuts off the bay on the left from the North Sea on the right.
Okay.
Behind that grassy bank.
Seems like a
Construction
pretty...
began in 1927, with ships dumping a mixture of sand, silt, rocks and clay into the water in enormous quantities.
Okay, so I was going to say, it seems like a really big project. I'm also thinking that this would have been more recent. Like maybe the last 40 years or so. This was built 100 years ago? How the hell did they do that?
Eventually creating a 32-kilometer barrier that you could, for example, put a motorway on.
Wow. That's
the idea
impressive.
was that if you shut off the bay, you could drain it and lower the level of the water. Why would you want to do that? Well, the productivity, shall we say, of Dutch people had been increasing, and now there were lots of little Dutch people, and the population was getting bigger. Normally, this would mean cramming more people into the same space, but a Dutch politician called Cornelis Lely came up with a brilliant idea. Why don't we make more space? It was
There's a whole lot of water out there. Let's make space out there. Very, very optimistic approach. Very brave. Wow.
Such a brilliant idea that there's now a statue of him here, standing majestically looking out over the waves, next to a bin. So here's how it worked.
I saw that.
Since much of the bay was very shallow, you only needed to drop the water level by a few meters to create a whole load of new land for housing and farming.
No way. This was all water, and then it became...
Few meters to create a whole load of new land for housing and farming. These 3 huge areas, including all the cities and villages that stand on them now, didn't exist before the Afsluitdijk.
Okay, that is crazy. I thought this was going to be interesting already by itself. I did not know. Like, keep in mind, I don't really know much at all about Dutch history, much about modern day Netherlands. You know, that's the point of this channel. I'm trying to learn a lot. And I also try to learn a lot at once from many different places, which is my own fault. But I enjoy it that way. But I still don't know tons and tons of stuff about each place. I did not realize, seeing that is just kind of fascinating. That all this landmass that you just see on the map, and I wouldn't think anything different of, this land from this land over here. I can't believe that this was literally not even there. It was submerged. Then they built this, and they also, in turn, were able to gain all this landmass and have roads and highways and towns and houses. That's just crazy.
They're what's called polders. The Dutch had been draining lakes and creating polders for years. This was just the same thing on a much bigger scale.
I've never even heard of that term either.
The project took 6 years to complete, with between 4,000 and 5,000 people working on it every day. And here, in the middle of the dike, there's a monument to the workers, marking the spot where they closed off the final gap.
I mean, seriously, what a job this must have been. Those workers, man, deserve a monument. I mean, this looks like a whole heap of work. Just hard work. What a project, man. Think of how long that is.
But more interestingly for me right now, there's also a little cafe here which serves Frisian specialities such as slagersgehaktbal with pindasaus and frietjes. Well, I'm sold.
Don't really know what he said, but it sounds good. It looks good. Come on now.
And I'm pretty sure I burned off most of the calories straight afterwards by climbing the observation tower and hauling this door open.
That door looked
Up
heavy.
here, you can see the almost surreal sight of the motorway stretching in.
That is a very surreal sight. Seeing a motorway, you see trucks, you see cars, but then it's just nothing. It's like water, and it looks infinite. It looks like something maybe you'd only see out of like a video game, like Gran Turismo or something. It doesn't look realistic.
Into nothingness in both directions. And it gives you a sense of what an incredible piece of engineering this really is.
That is so weird.
It is, however, an 80-year-old piece of engineering now, and like many 80-year-olds, it's in danger of becoming a little bit leaky.
Wow.
A 4-year program of
Scary.
reinforcement has begun, which will replace the outer cladding of the dike while widening the body and raising it by 2 meters. This will protect it from rising sea levels in the future.
Is this a freaky bike lane? Is there a bike lane on this thing in the middle of nowhere in the water? Oh my God, the Dutch are on another level.
Allowing it to protect the thousands of Dutch people
After all
who
I've
live,
learned, I'm not surprised.
work and catch buses on land that simply wouldn't be there without the Afsluitdijk.
Yo, that is actually impressive. Okay, and then right here, we're just going to look at just a couple minutes of this. This is an hour long on the dot. Now, I don't know if there's any sped up versions, any, edited versions where they, you know, edited some parts out. I'm not sure, but roughly an hour long, which seems, I guess, like that'd be about right. So basically, would this thing take around an hour, or like maybe an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half? Actually, maybe a little bit long, since it's only 32 kilometers, right? I feel like maybe it'd be quicker than that. I don't know. But regardless, we're going to look at a little bit of this, just because I find this thing kind of interesting. I love down on the ground videos, seeing everything. The road, the signs, the buildings, all that jazz. The cars. As I would expect, mostly like hatchbacks and small vans, wagons, that type of thing. I think that's hella interesting. Just the traffic differences. This is actually a really cool area. I mean, you could tell it's like a coastal area. But still, looks like a beautiful day. Sunny skies, blue. Even got some cannons there. But, okay, let's see. I mean, it's actually very beautiful here. Look at all... Dude, these roads, man. Look at how perfect this road is. The markings, the condition of the road. I love the you know, the very obvious different surface types and colors, you know, of these raised island sections right here. And then this red section versus the road, you know, gray. Just little details. I love it. Now, of course, there's certain spots in the U.S. that look really polished like this. Unfortunately, there's more spots that don't. A lot of spots near me look rough. You know, the markers are barely visible. There's potholes, you know, old, worn out material everywhere. It just kind of looks like yuck, you know? This looks really nice. And that's what I've always heard, is that... Whoa, look at that huge ship, dude. Wow. This is actually just fascinating, seeing this whole area. But yeah, that's what I've always heard, is that Dutch roads are generally, I think, really good, if not some of the best. Okay, so he actually, now that I'm looking around, you know, this isn't an hour long of just that of over the sea, right? He's actually driving for half the video just to get there. So that's kind of cool. So your actual travel on the causeway wouldn't be that long. I feel like maybe like half an hour. Still, I mean, we're skipping around here. The roads are spectacular. They just look great. Although these are just like, okay, these are there to guide you, or maybe that's under construction. I'm not sure. I think these might be just to guide you. Maybe these open and close certain times or certain days. I will be interested to see what the speed limit is on the water, right? Look, we even have windmills right there. Interesting. All right, now this is freaky. You can see the water, and you know you're about to leave land. Like I said, I wouldn't be like actually scared. Like, it's not a phobia or anything. I would just be, it's just like a little freaky to me, you know? I'd be okay with it because it looks like it's built really well, obviously. And I would totally do it. I would totally drive over it, but it would just be weird to me. It would be weird to look out and see nothing but water for infinity. Beautiful blue water. I mean, this was a great day to capture this. I mean, it just looks gorgeous, right? We have green grass, a clean road, and this blue, like, seemingly calm water. It's not like choppy, it looks smooth, right? Against that blue sky with just some puffy white clouds. Looks great, man. I'm actually gonna turn that down because it's just, you know, wind noise. I should have done that like a while ago. I do apologize, but yeah. Basically, like I was saying, it looks great. Look at the construction equipment. I love looking at the Scanias and the trucks and stuff. I'm a little bit of a vehicle nerd like that. Look at that barge with the big excavator. So like right here, it's not too bad because you kind of have this greenery right here, so it doesn't look like straight up like you're on water. Now I am speeding this up a little bit. Look at all the... Are those in the water? Those windmills? Oh my god, look at the amount of engineering and just stuff that's happening in the water around the Netherlands, man. That's actually insane to me. That's really cool. It's just like not how I think. Like I guess I view water as like a limiting factor. Like, oh, we're running out of space on land. Well, let's go to the water. Like, that's not how I think. That's very awesome. Yeah, I commend it for sure. It's just, I never pictured I've seen windmill farms a lot around the Midwest, the U.S., right? I've seen them everywhere. I'm just so used to seeing them in a big, you know, rolling hill farmland, not water. Hey, I skipped way ahead. It is getting actually a little cloudier on this side. But anyway, I wonder if this is the same cafe at this exit that was featured in that last video. I'm not sure. I did not pay attention to like the logo or whatever. If he showed, I'm not sure. But if anyone wants to catch that'd be funny if it was the same one. I did not notice the speed limit either. It says 70 here, but maybe that's under this zone. I don't know if I can find one from earlier or not. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me the speed here. Like I guess what I'm saying is, what's the fastest speed, whatever zone that would be, right? You know, is it like 100 kilometers per hour? Is it 60? Is it 120? I don't know, right? All right, and finally, I'm literally going to look at just a couple minute clips of this video. This will be linked as well, like all the others will be. This is over an hour-long video from Rick's Films Restoration, I think it's called. Definitely check this out. I will be checking way more of this out off camera, of course. I mean, this looks incredible. This is basically footage of the construction of this thing. This footage from 1929 or around there. That's insane. I love seeing old stuff like this. I think it's absolutely fascinating. So we're going to play it. I'm going to mute the music just in case, because, you know, YouTube like copyrights everything now. So let's check this out. I mean, my mind is always blown by old stuff, right? Because, you know, on one hand, they didn't have a lot of stuff that we have now that maybe we take for granted, or, you know, just stuff we use all the time. But at the same time, they did have, I'm also mind blown by like how much they did have, right? Like how much stuff was the same back then, or even better in some cases. Like some technology they had was like, why don't we do it that way now? That type of thing. So that's why I love looking at old footage like this. But especially with basically you could call this like a mega project from 1929 or so, right? That is a long time ago. And seeing them moving all this material on this boat, you know, and then like they're gonna have to unload all this and place it, you know, it's insane to me. Like this is, my mind can't comprehend a project like this with 100 years ago. Now, of course, I know people did amazing things even before this, but it's just hard to comprehend each singular thing. It just seems like so much work, right? It's really kind of awesome. So, I mean, like, first of all, we do have, you know, a lot of work by hand, of course. But then we also have a surprisingly amount of like heavy machinery. Like, look at this. They have all these rocks or boulders tied up in these chains. And I mean, look at that. We have cranes. These cranes are on, look at this, on rail tracks here. I mean, this is wild stuff. I mean, very smooth crane operation, right? And this footage is remarkable, in my opinion. I feel like it's pretty clear. I know it's been AI enhanced and colorized, I guess. But, you know, I mean, it turned out pretty good, I think, right? It looks pretty natural. You know, look at all of them carrying these heavy pieces. I mean, that is crazy. I mean, these look like they are hella heavy. And you just got what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. He's got 12 guys, a dozen guys All right, everyone. Lift it up and carry it down there, right? I mean, holy smokes. What a crazy work environment, man. Jeez. That guy's literally got his arms crossed. Just have it resting on his shoulder. Look at all the cranes in the background. Jeez. I mean, they had to have a lot of people working on this. I look at this. Like, what the heck, right? It's like some sort of like wooden straw, like platform. What in the world? This is crazy, man. I really did not realize that we had like these big cranes back then. I just never looked into it. I don't know when in my head, I feel like these were, used a lot or invented or whatever. I guess it's just shocking to see like 1929 and seeing this pretty like smooth crane action, right? It's pretty impressive to me. I mean, for the time, I don't know. Well, that was absolutely fascinating. I think that was a pretty good dive into the whatchamacallit. I am not going to try and pronounce that again. I do apologize. But look, that is really, really cool. I'm very impressed by it. I love kind of mega project stuff like that. And this is something I didn't know about at all. It seems like it's extremely innovative, very important, and they're still making upgrades to this day. I mean, they have to, right? That's what they said. So I would love to hear anything you want to add about this in the comments. Of course, if you have driven over this and experienced this for yourself, please let me know how it was down below. This was awesome. I really do appreciate you guys' really cool ideas and suggestions like this. So thank you. Thank you for watching as well. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. I hope your week is off to an awesome start. That's going to be it for this one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.